Brad, what's up? Where am I? I am in Beverly Hills or somewhere like that. I'm on Santa Monica Boulevard. I'm by Melrose. Not Mel. Is it Melrose? No. What is it called? It's like super famous. Everybody loves going there. All rich people go there. It slips my mind. I can't remember it because I'm so pissed off. I don't care to, remember it. So what I'm saying is I remember, but fuck you. So don't matter to me right now, not at all. So here's what happened. I came all the way down from up from Hollywood down to what do you call it? Well, it's kind of like West Hollywood right now where I'm at. And I was supposed to go to a job and work landscaping with this guy. Well, I'll tell you what, he's been living here, I guess, 50-something years. He knows all the bus drivers. He's a Latino, came into the country illegally himself. I'll go ahead and get a landscaping job where I'm getting paid cash, and I don't have to worry about it. Well, I'll tell you what. You know what this guy does? Now, it's because I'm white, by the way. Gets me a ride down on a bus, down to West Hollywood. And you know what the bus driver does? Now this is with me having my pack like I'm not dressed to the T's, right? I'm not dressed properly to be in this neighborhood. So the guy gets me a bus ride all the way down to West Hollywood or wherever the hell we're at, and or where I'm at. And bus driver doesn't stop at the stop he was supposed to. Didn't stop at that bus stop at all. And then takes me an extra mile down the road to Beverly Hills, to Rodeo Drive. So I'm out here with a military pack, and I'm dressed like a bum, and I look ridiculous. And I was supposed to go on a landscaping job. So I guess he's trying to teach me a lesson. And the lesson that I learned is enjoy whatever country they take you back to. Because I don't play, and you don't mess with my time. He's lucky that my people don't get to him before I get him deported. Dead serious. I'm only getting him deported so he doesn't get killed. Donald Trump just won the election. That's everything that I come from and tried to get away from. And now, here he's going to be the president of this state too. So that's fantastic. But either way, I'm going to get him removed because otherwise, with this guy coming in as president, my people, like within 15 minutes of me getting off the bus, or I'm sorry, within 15 minutes of that bus missing the stop, my people are already reaching out to me asking, wait a second, why didn't you get off at that stop? And it would have only been a matter of time before they found out what happened. So, there's nothing I could do about it. But he tried to make a fool out of me, and, well, unfortunately, he successfully made a fool out of me, so it's going to cost him his citizenship. He got it illegally anyway. So, it's not fair, I'm a citizen. Yeah, but you cheated to become a citizen. So, end of story. I don't like to play with that. I'm a sanctuary type of guy. I'm one of the people that helped get Los Angeles, converted to a sanctuary city, just in case we ended up... what do you call it? Just in case we ended up, sorry, those people are completely not where they're supposed to be. Anyway, yeah, so you guys can go ahead and clean up all of that. I don't want it anywhere near me. It's all a bunch of trash anyway. As I was saying, so I'm walking back, and I'm going to have to walk all the way back because this scumbag knows all the bus drivers. And now, even if I got cash, the bus drivers won't let me on the bus. Bus driver that won't let me on a bus. So we're just going to get a whole bunch of Latino bus drivers fired, which really sucks because I'm not a racist. But it's going to look super racist when we get a whole bunch of Latino drivers fired. But considering they're not stopping at the stops when they see me, and the guy that got me to ride down here knows all the bus drivers, it's a race issue. So I'm taking care of it. And also saying it just loud enough to make sure people that think they're involved in the situation can get themselves involved, and then we can wrap them up in that and find out who's a problem and who isn't, and we'll just get rid of the problems and keep the ones that aren't. So he wanted to be the big man. Well, today he gets to be the big man, and tomorrow I'll be the man that wasn't a part of the problem at all. And the best thing to do is when you got the ladies involved in it, get them obsessed, because then the men, no matter what they try, can't get their women off the issue. And it fucks with their whole situation. And then when push comes to shove, when somebody tries to fuck you up, you can get ahead of it. And that is part of why I keep my wife 3,000 miles away from me. We hate each other. So, that. You want to be trash? Be trash. I don't have time for it. I just keep her out of the drama. And people are like, oh, we're going to go mess with your wife. I'm like, do you want me to give a phone call to the last guy who tried? He doesn't speak very well anymore. That's just how it is, man. I'm not violent, but I'll tell you what. When a wood chipper shows up and somebody offers to throw you in it, you get a little defensive. And nowadays, that just seems to be commonplace. Very unfortunately, but it is. I just don't like getting involved in it. And when people force me into that situation, well, I'll tell you what, if you expect me to choose you over my own country, I'm not going to do it. Especially considering, you're threatening me, or duping me. And I'll tell you what, I have people in my life that tried to warn me. They're like, just understand, these aren't your people. They're going to screw you over if you piss them off. I said, no, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And so I did. And now I'm out here looking like an asshole, looking like a motherfucking homeless guy. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So, the Latinos are having a good laugh today. But I'm going to remember it when January comes around. I will. So I guess what I'm telling you is, if you're not white, stay in my good graces, because I'm not in a good mood. And if you think you're going to fight back, go ahead and try. I welcome it. Watch what happens. I'm not a racist. I don't like racists. And right now I'm drawing in all the racists because I'm really pissed off. Come and support. Thank you. Latina, welcome to the broadcast. Yay. Yeah, Missy goes, morning. How are you? Good morning. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I'm not doing any of this over. I don't care what an asshole I look like. I don't care if it means I can never work in Hollywood. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Your shit is not worth that much to me. Trust me, it's not. Not in the slightest. I gotta take a piss. I gotta find somewhere to pee around here. See, this whole area is completely corrupt. So it's like, even the police, even the, the actual police officers, the entire department is privately funded. And they're like, oh, it's public funds. It ain't public funds. I'm not stupid. Where I come from, we know how this shit works. We know how to handle it, and it is what it is. Jacobs goes, employers. Yeah, I tell you what. I thought I was going to be smart and get myself a side job. I thought it was going to be a good idea to go ahead and get a job that wasn't, not trying to evade taxes or whatever, just getting a job off the books, right? I thought, oh, let me just go get a job. I can get ahead of the curve. Well, nowadays you can't do that, It's all drama. And you make a couple $100, and this guy's over here thinking he's smart, not realizing that I am right now fishing, with an F, fishing. You have something. See, smart men know what I'm. Guy with the suit, but you don't know it. And the more you have to say about me, the more I'm going to draw you in. I don't care if you're a regular citizen. I don't care if you're legal or illegal. I don't care if you're law enforcement or not. No matter what you are or aren't, you are fair game. This is America. And that's how business works. So before you tell me how special you are because of your social position, remember, I'm an equalist and I'm an equalizer in real life, not like in the movies. Okay? So if you've ever seen the Equalizer movie, think that without the violence. All right. So pretty much what I do is I just time shit. And I'm that good at it that I will remember. Let me put it to you this way. I've had people, put me through experiences that they most definitely did not expect me to remember. And I did it just off the cuff. Bro, not only do I remember it, but I'm over here catching them. I mean, it's become so easy. So easy. And I understand. Now I understand why law enforcement does it. It's a good paycheck, and it doesn't take much. I could only imagine how easy it is with a badge and a gun. But I'll tell you what, even without a badge and a gun out here, it's like, how do I put it? Like catching wild animals. It really is. Like once you get to a certain level of knowledge in society, people are like, to you, they become wild animals. They really are. Like they get emotional or they get overly logical. And it's just so easy to get them right where you want them. And, it's like so for example, I had this guy that thinks he's going to dupe me and tell me what I'm doing next and that I'm going to walk to him. Well, he is honestly an immature snot. And I don't care how old somebody is. If you're not mature, you're not mature. I don't care if you got family members, family money. I don't care what you got. Go out of my way to make another person's business my business. Unless there's something good that both parties can get out of it. Right? So essentially the situation I'm dealing with right now, I'm on defense. I'm not playing offense. I'm not trying to cause anybody any problems. I'm doing my own thing. They say, oh, well, I don't like it, or, he must be on drugs or something to that effect. And the fact of the matter is, I'm not. I'm just that mad. Am I going to do anything about it? No. I'm going to walk my ass back to Hollywood without getting on the bus. Guys, I think I got $4,000 on me right now in cash, which is nothing to most of these people around here. But guess what I'm not doing? Getting on the bus. Principle, based on principle. I refuse to get on the bus. I have also learned my lesson on stepping in the grass. Never step in the grass. Trust me, especially in the nicer areas, do not step in the grass. Okay, I have calmed down enough that I can bring my volume down a little bit and stop being such a jerk. Sometimes it takes me a second try to learn my lesson, but if people knew some of what I've been through, they'd understand why I needed to take a couple of laps around the social track before I could go off, cross country again, if that makes any sense. I needed some time to recover and train a little bit, just mentally getting back on track. So with that guy in the job, not even mentioning it, I'm just done with it, completely done. Just on a matter of disrespect. If he goes out of his way to find me in real life, I'll hang out with him. But I learned my lesson the first time, and I don't think I should have to learn my lesson the second time. So, I got a buddy who he'll find me from time to time, and we'll hang out. And that's good. I think that's a healthy thing because there's boundaries there, and we just run into each other every now and again. And then I'm hoping the same is with this guy, I have a lot of people in my life that are very controlling, and I have to tell you the truth. They don't like seeing me hanging out with Latinos or Latinas or blacks or anybody that ain't white. And I'm not a racist. So it's tough because I have people that I love and care about trying to tell me what to do in reference to who I spend my time with when, they just don't know me like that anymore, Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the broadcast. Sorry. Yeah, me too, Missy. That's okay. And then I have this chick who was, she wanted to hang out, and I just chose not. I can't believe I did, but I chose not to. I have a wife, and that wife is currently being forced to claim just outrageous things about me on a private basis, not publicly or legally, thankfully. But she is essentially in a situation where she practically has a gun to her head by people that are extremely racist. And I'm trying to figure out how to get her out of it. My situation is finally to a point where I'm safe to say it out loud and talk about things out loud with the transition of our sanctuary status here in Los Angeles. But I'm not really sure what to do next in reference to that personal situation. But with this woman that I could have met with, it's like my wife every day, and I don't blame her, thinks about giving up on me. And I honestly don't blame her. She's in a really tough spot because of me. And I'm thankful she hasn't given up on me yet. But I would, I'd be with her right now if I could. But it's really tough for both of us where, I don't know if she's been with anybody or not. I honestly don't. And it's none of my business right now, at least in her opinion. And so that's fine. It's obviously not fine for me. I miss her, but I'm not going to force her to be with me if she wants space, if that's really what it is. And, that part of it, then okay. So it's like she was forced away from me, but then she kind of wants space because being forced away from me scared her so bad that she's like afraid to be with me in case we'd get torn apart again. So then this woman wanted to meet up and get together, and I'm not reaching out to her. And I don't know if I should be proud of myself or indifferent or how I should feel about the situation, but as long as I still have a wife, I just don't feel right about it. Whether or not she's doing anything is whatever it is. I can't control her. But for me, I literally sick thinking about it. And it's confusing because I'm a guy, obviously. And this woman is drop dead gorgeous that wanted to meet up. And I can't do it. But it's so weird where it's like, it's both ways mentally where I'm like, oh my God, I need to meet up with this chick. And at the same time, I feel sick about it. So I'm choosing to go with the sickness, the sick feeling. I'm trusting my gut and I'm not going to meet up with her. So I'm proud of myself. But, it's more about me than it is about the two of us. It's more about me than it is her and I, So I chose not to go because it doesn't sit well with me. But now I got to walk all the way back to Hollywood because this freaking guy knows all the bus drivers, and the bus drivers won't let me on the bus even if I got the money, which I do. But there are obviously more bus drivers than just the ones that like him if I were to wait for one. But I'm too stubborn to spend the money. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follows. So shot, not my problem. Guarantee. James goes, yeah, I know. Probably get away with it till January. No, I didn't get set up. He's just being a dick. Yeah, no, dude. I'll tell you what a setup is. A setup is where someone tries to make you look like you're carrying a bomb. And I'm not going to say that I've been in that situation, but, I've been in a similar one. And so this pussy shit where he had me get off the bus like a mile down the road further than what I should have. And then probably he's not even at the job site if I were to show up there. It's bitch shit. There's no other way to say it. It's pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And I'm signed off. And if he decides he wants to meet up with me, then I'll meet up with him. I'll cover for him. As usual, I'll talk shit on here and tell the truth about how it is. And if he decides to come back to me with his head hanging the way that the rest of my friends do when they fuck up with me, I will, I'll accept them back and I'll hang out with them. And then I'll find somebody else to fucking blame for it, I guess. But, because there's people out there that'll take, they'll take the fucking credit. So you don't have to deal with it. But I'm just so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of people just trying to prove to me how big they are. And then I have to turn around and be the bigger person. And this, ironically, dude, it's so bad that this is me being the bigger person. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the broadcast. What's up, Mary? What do I like to do in my spare time? I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of spare time. Okay. So now, like I said, we walk all the way back to Hollywood. This is why I don't take the bus. This is why I don't do this shit. Because it just ends up in some sort of drama. And so it just ends up being some type of stupid situation. And I got to walk all the way back there. I mean, I don't have to, but I'm just so mad that if I don't go and blow off some steam, if I don't walk back, I'm going to end up so bent out of shape that I'm just getting pissy, you know? Whereas if I walk back, I can calm down. Eurus, thanks for the follow. Guys, listen, if there's one thing I've learned about Hollywood, if you ever come here, okay, if you ever come to Hollywood or you live in Hollywood, if you ever try to live in Hollywood, because when I say try, I mean it's a lot of people can't make it. Like if somebody tells you, oh, you're never going to work in this town, guys, it's such a common phrase, it's such a common thing, or people be like, oh, you're never coming back to WeHo. I've had people tell me, if I ever step foot in West Hollywood again, that I'm going to get arrested. Dude, I'm out here with a sea bag that looks like a bomb. And I'm walking through the streets as a homeless person, looking fucking ridiculous, screaming at the top of my lungs, cursing. The police don't care because they know it's me. Okay? Earn respect. Don't earn clout. Earn respect. Once you have respect, then worry about clout. If you're supposed to get it, you'll get it. Happy Friday. How are you? Raugon, welcome to the broadcast. Yeah, so like I told you, last year they told me, they're like, don't be coming around WeHo. I go, listen, people in WeHo love me. They're like, well, we don't. And I'm like, well, your money, you don't have as much money as, like there's a few people that don't like me in WeHo. And they're people that can't get sex out of me. Right hand to God. I'm not kidding you. That's what it is there are people in West Hollywood that want to have sex with me, and I won't have sex with them, so they're all pissy about it. And they're all men. What's up, Jennifer? How are you? And that's the exact same, that's why, what do you call it? That's the reason why, I'm dealing with this problem to begin with, is because, this guy that wanted me to work for him and I've been doing work with wants to have sex with me. And I won't have sex with him. So he's becoming more and more passive aggressive. He's becoming more and more controlling. And I'm just not having it. Good to see you too, bro. Thank you. And so I guess that's what bothers me, is like people in Hollywood don't seem to know how to take it slow. And that is one of the only things that bothers me. One of the only things that bother me is people's inability to take it slow. Like when I say slow, with things that are important and that I need to take care of that are my priorities, I can go really quickly. I'm very, very quickly. But when it comes to personals and sexuals, guys, when I tell you, like, you got people that like meet up in the bathroom to fuck. Guys, listen, I didn't have sex with anybody till I was 25 years old. For the love of God. I didn't even date anybody till my 20s. Not really. So like all this, the culture of just fucking in the bathroom, that's fine. You do what you got to do. But I don't know how to do that shit. I got things to do, and I don't have time to learn because I'm busy trying to make money. I'm busy trying to put my life together. I get that it's a social game. I'd rather give you the respect than give you the dick. And trust me, from the culture that I come from, you got to choose between my dick and my respect. If you choose my dick, you don't have my respect. If you choose my mind and you pay attention to my capabilities, you have my respect. But I'm not interested in getting involved with somebody that's only going to, be interested in me based on my sexual ability on a relationship level, because I have shit to do and I don't like the fickle. I like loyalty. So I could do the fickle for business type stuff, but not sexually. Like, I'm not. That's the other thing. Is like, in my personal opinion, a big mistake people make is where they get involved sexually with each other in business. Like, people don't realize how much that holds you back. It really does. Like, some of the most successful successful people that I've ever met in business are literally abstinent. I shit you not. Like, no religion, none of that involved. Just literally, they do not have sex. Sometimes even with their own wives for months, which, I mean, their wives aren't complaining because most people don't cry or complain when they're driving a Ferrari. Now, around here, they might because, that just seems to be the culture around here. But there's a lot of people that make those types of sacrifices, And so, like me personally, guys, if I was married, I could go a year without sex. If I'm driving a Ferrari and my wife's driving a Panamera and, she's satisfied with the stuff that she's doing, when she needs it, sure. But you get my point? I'm not money driven. I'm security driven. And I don't feel security out here, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't feel like this is a secure environment unless you make it secure for yourself. Clara, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so just don't forget, be very careful with the way you speak to me, either directly or indirectly. I do understand female speak, in case you didn't know. I do understand girl talk, woman talk. Most guys don't, even though they think they do. I very much understand what women are saying, whether they say something or not. Love you too. And I will ask you to be very careful with what you say to me, because there's a lot of men in my life that are very protective, but there's also a lot of women in my life that are very protective. And I can protect you from the men very easily, but I could tell you that I cannot protect you from the women. So if you're a woman and you're giving me some form of disrespect, I cannot protect you from whatever the women do to you. There's nothing I could do about that. The men, very easy, because most men that I associate with are gentlemen. If I say, hey, you might not have known, but that's a woman, and they'll be like, oh, okay. But yeah. So anyway, as far as anybody that doesn't identify as a man or a woman, you're safe with me no matter what. Safe with my wife no matter what. Now, my wife, I'm not gonna lie to you, she's pretty old school. But she goes with it because of, I say that that's how it has to be. There's certain things that I just lay down the law and I put my foot down about. And one of those things is just respecting all parties, respecting everybody equally. So she goes with that for me. But she really, really, really doesn't like having to go with that for me. But so I keep her mostly out of the affairs having to do with anything that isn't male or female, anyone that isn't male or female. And as you can tell, for reasons, we keep our space most of the time. So we spend a little too much time with each other. Her and I are so, here's the thing. We're identical as people, but we're opposites socially. Absolute opposites socially. So, if her and I spend too much time together, I start becoming like her in ways that aren't healthy for my relationships. And she starts becoming like me in ways that aren't healthy for her relationships. So we spend a lot of time apart. But, we made that commitment to each other. So we stick it out. And I have to admit to you, I'm kind of having fun walking down Santa Monica, because it's been a while. Like, when I first moved here, I did a lot of what I'm doing. I just didn't live stream it or talk to anybody. And I used to go up and down this Santa Monica Boulevard. I used to go, all over Hollywood Boulevard. And now, I'm just kind of chilling. Holy shit. Okay, I'm going to really try not to fanboy. Okay, I'm gonna fanboy for a minute. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but somebody just stopped into my broadcast. It's like really famous. Somebody that I really want to meet. And I know for a fact that it's her username because I keep track of everything going on Beagle. And there was a very famous celebrity that recently joined Beagle, and I just saw their username in my broadcast. Guys, right now, I think I'm smelling some sort of construction, something going on. But for some reason, what I smell is bananas and chocolate. Is that weird? I smell bananas and chocolate. That's made me really hungry for chocolate bananas. Like, you ever have like a chocolate covered frozen banana? Anyway, that wasn't an innuendo. I was literally asking. Like, chocolate covered bananas are really tasty, especially when frozen. But anyway. So I'll tell you, I wonder what it's like to be the cousin of somebody that's famous, or the cousin of somebody that is successful, like really successful. I have to admit to you, when I first moved here, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm at such a disadvantage, and this is such a rough situation for me, and what am I going to do? Not realizing what a privilege it is to pursue what I'm pursuing in this life to begin with. And, to be here in Hollywood is just unbelievable. It's a gift, and I don't forget it. Unlike most people, I don't forget how lucky I am to be here. And with that said, I think about the fact that there's so many people, and I've been meeting a lot of people around here that are related to really famous people. Like, I met Michael Jackson's cousin. I met a couple of different people that I'm not going to mention. But like, I've actually met a lot of immediate relatives of a lot of famous people, because it turns out that the famous people, there's a lot of famous people that live in Hollywood, or at least in the surrounding area, who have cousins in the area. Obviously they have like immediate relation in the area. They live here. So there's people that aren't. There are people that live here that are famous that aren't transplants, that they were born and raised here, and so they have family in the area. And so I'll see somebody in town. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like so and so, and it turns out it's their cousin or something. Which is pretty cool. But I was thinking about it at the same time. If you're someone that's seeking to pursue a career similar to the person that you're related to that's famous, that's a rough downside. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine being someone that wants to pursue being an actor, wants to pursue being a musician, and you have immediate relation that is, successful in that area, and and they're not the type of person that wants to involve you in what they're doing. Well, it could be really disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you look like and have the skills similar to the person that you're related to that's famous, but you're not them. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, it's pretty tough out here to make it, admittedly, but it could be more difficult. I could be immediately related to someone who is successful that doesn't want to share their success with me. And I could only imagine how tough that is. That I can't relate to. I don't have anybody in my life, in my personal. I mean, do I have cousins that are kings? Yeah. Am I related to people who are royalty? Yeah. Am I related to people who, run the world? Yeah. But I don't know any of them. I don't know any of them. So I'm like the odd duck of all odd ducks out here just trying to survive. And hopefully I make it, but we'll see what happens. But like I said, I don't have the disadvantage of being related to anybody that is successful that doesn't want me to have anything to do with their success. So that is one downside that I can't relate to, thankfully. You love chocolate-covered frozen bananas. Yes. Banoffee pie is so yum. Love banana desserts. I'm going to screenshot what you said, because I want to look up the pie that you're mentioning, because I've never heard of Banoffee. Is it Banoffee pie? Banafeet pie? I'll have to look it up. Thanks to the hearts. Jacob's like the youngest Baldwin brother. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Baldwins. I really don't. I almost just gave an opinion or like said something, but truthfully, I really don't know anything about the Baldwins like at all. Yeah, there's really not much. I look it up. It's the best. The pie. I'll have to. I will. But listen. I'm going to tell you guys that there are things that I don't know about having to do with people that I might be related to, or people that I might be, like that I might have some type of connection to. But I tell you the truth, I don't know. And that's the difference. A lot of people, they'll be like, and I'm not trying to lower my competency or make people think I'm stupid. It's just either I am stupid or I'm not. Just the fact of the matter is, I have people that exist in my space and gravitate into my circle that I don't understand why they would. There's people of supreme success that are attracted to my life, and I just assume that I must be either related to them in some way, or they must know somebody that I knew or know, or someone that looks out for me that I don't know about, that they know about. But it's just, I don't always understand, where that connection is made. And that's where I get embarrassed, because I know it's the kind of thing where if I'm going to get more involved with the people that are interested in me, that are, doing so well for themselves, then I have to learn, what that connection is and where it comes from. And until I do, I'm kind of just out here wondering what's going on, So, and that's the truth, I'm not out here like side bragging and pretending like I don't know. I really don't. And I've said that how many times? It seems like I have to find the appropriate vocal inflection for people to believe what I'm saying. Family through association, I guess. Thanks for the hearts. How can you say you're married, but what do you mean? I am married. I've been married since, I've been common law married since 21 or 20. No, I'm sorry. Common law married since, I think it was 2019. Because there's a thing. We haven't had anything on paper. We were common law. So our names have been intertwined for, was it 4 years, 5 years? So, yeah. And the thing is, I'm dealing with people who think that they have to put stuff on paper to stay associated or to stay intertwined socially or, even emotionally. Like you don't have to put it on paper for it to be real. People don't understand that. I like to put it on paper because it makes it more official, but things don't always have to be more official, No, it's just my stuff. We're good. Just make whoever called you pay restitution. Sorry about that. I'm apologizing for them. I'm not the one apologizing. I'm not apologizing. It ain't my fault that somebody made a fake call. It's not my fault. Assuming, I don't know why else the cops would have come over so low through WeHaul. They never do that, so. They usually send a drone, if anything, but they sent physical bodies, over the air, so. There's never trouble in WeHo, so I would just assume that they were coming to see what I was doing. I don't know, maybe it wasn't. I hope it wasn't, but who knows? Oh yeah, we already said that. Alright, well there's your culprit. Right and live. Just so now we know I didn't tell on him. That's not my fault. But Jennifer, you may stay. You absolutely may stay. Because thanks to you, I'll tell you just saved me years of trouble. Because you called them right out. That was good. Thank you very much. Rachel, you know what, Rachel? That's a very good question. You say, why don't these relatives get me off the street? Here's what I'll say to you. When I first moved here, the biggest thing was not being incarcerated, not ending up incarcerated due to my social situation, right? Thanks for the hearts. Due to my, what would I call it? Due to my social class, being classified as homeless, even when I'm technically not supposed to be classified as homeless. Like, what I'm dealing with right now isn't a financial problem. What I'm dealing with right now isn't a legal problem. What I'm dealing with right now isn't a social problem. What I'm dealing with right now is a, what do you call it? A mismatch, a documentation mismatch. So and it's the same thing with my marriage, you know? It's kind of like we moved so quick in our relationship, and I moved so quick in my life that when push came to shove, when 2018 came around, it's kind of like we had to move things forward quickly, but we should have gotten the paperwork together, and I should have gotten the paperwork together, because things would have made a lot more sense to a lot of people. But with that said, you know, things are good. I'm just kind of getting sorted, the whole address thing. Like, it's so weird. Like, literally, I get work. Like, I work at least 2 to 3 days out of the week, and I get paid good money, like good money. What do you call it? I have my, not necessarily cash, but good money. Like, I get, like, they'll feed me and stuff like that, you know, to make sure. So I don't have anything. They're very peculiar about it, very particular. So they make sure that what I get isn't something that could affect my food stamps and doesn't have to be reported to, to DPSS, which is nice. So what they do is, instead of like giving me money, they'll just feed me. They'll get me food and stuff like that. So I don't have to worry about losing my assistance over an amount of money that isn't enough to, worry about it anyway. And people be like, oh, you're going to go to court. And I'm like, you want to bet? Like, you have to be clever enough. You have to be smart enough with how you do it. That way you can talk about it if you want to or you have to. Don't just accept money. Like, this is just personal advice. If you accept money that isn't, it's like under the table money, and you don't have a way to prove that money shouldn't affect your government income, it will. If you can prove that it shouldn't, then you're good. But that, once again, that's a little more complex. You got to understand taxes. So, I dealt with a situation back in 21 where, oh man, I'll tell you, the people were so, like, they've put me through this situation trying to prove to me that they're right and I'm wrong. So essentially, I kind of like pulled a Bezos, and I pulled a Musk, and I pulled a Zuckerberg, right? Where I was getting everything I wanted, and I didn't have to give the government anything. Now, unbeknownst to them, I was giving them a lot more than what they knew about. I was helping them out a lot more than they knew about. And, when local law enforcement decided that they were going to try and get a piece of the pie for the government, assuming that I wasn't giving anything, they really messed up. We worked that out. But things are good now, and I'm not too worried about it. So, like I said, I got a good social situation going on. As far as people that are like relatives, and them not providing me with somewhere to live, the way I see it is, when it comes down to it, I'm not a very obedient person to people that I don't know all that well. So, like, I've had people try to invite me into their circle and bring me into their group, and I'm just very defiant. It's like, if I don't know you, like, you got to understand, I'm not a red-blooded American. I'm not a blue-blooded American. I'm an American. I'm just straight up, like, true blood American. And I don't mean true blood like the TV show. I mean true blood as in real life, like an actual real life American. One of my ancestors, as I told you, is William Penn. So, like, I take this country pretty darn seriously, more seriously than most. And so, while from time to time I have to fight the radicalism and I fight the extremism, like, I have to fight, keep them at bay from time to time. I take care of myself too. I take care of my country. But take care of our country. But with that said, it's like heavy lies the crown. The burden of being, that person in real life is, I have a lot of people that don't come from that, who are, who serve our country in one capacity or another, who often are trying to, like, tell me how it is, or trying to teach me something, or trying to get me to shut my mouth. And it's just so annoying. Like, they don't realize, they're like, they're the type of people that are like, oh, we have it all figured out, or we're trying to teach you something. And like, I'll tell them no. And then they're like, well, we're the authority. And they just don't want to admit that they're not. Like, you know, they're not. No, they're not. You know, it's like, no, it's ours. I'm like, no offense, but your family, you haven't been here long enough. You know, and when I say that, what I mean is you haven't been the type of person that takes care of a place like this for long enough. You're too new. And people be like, oh, you're only a second generation American. Yeah, but I'm like a 10th generation something else. And it's stuff that is so out of your league. It's not even funny. And so I guess what I'm saying is I'm sick of having to school 80-year-olds. I'm sick of having to school people that I'm supposed to be calling my elders, you know? It's this dichotomy where I'm so good at understanding society that I'm dealing with people who are, you know, I guess structurally or in an organized fashion, you know, the responsibility is bestowed upon them to take care of our society. And I know more than them, and they know I know more than them, and they freaking hate it, right? So, like, I don't know what else to say. It's like they want to teach me and make me more responsible, but at the same time, it's like they have such a know-it-all attitude that it's so, to me, that's how it comes off to me, is like very know-it-all, that it's very difficult for me to listen to them or obey them. And so I try to find people that can tolerate me, that I can tolerate. And sometimes it's tough, but you know, I'm getting there. It's a lot of work just to frickin', you know, I feel like I'm backtracking, like turning wisdom into knowledge. You know, like I have a lot of wisdom from my age, and I have people that are trying to they're offering me knowledge and telling me that it's more valuable than wisdom. And I just can't agree. So if you want to teach me, you know, if you want me to understand your form of knowledge, I will. You just got to realize that I have the wisdom built in better than you do. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be ahead of you. You know, like I wouldn't be passing you up in the realms of competitive society if you knew more than I did, or if you knew better than I did, however you want to say that. It's just so often people get caught up in the minutia, or, you know, find it more important to speak properly or correctly than to be successful and to get ahead in whatever space you're in. And the fact of the matter is the idea of the American dream is not dead. It's not a fallacy. And it's still very possible. It's just, you have to choose yourself over the drama. The drama being anything that holds you back. Not anyone, anything. You know, I could say that at this point in my life, I have about 30, 30, 30, and then 10% me. I got 30% people in my life that are less capable than me, 30% that are more, and 30% of people that are just about on par with where I'm at in my life. And the other 10% is me looking in the mirror, trying to figure out whether or not I'm doing things the way I'm supposed to do them. So, you know, I should say is the older I'm getting, the more I contemplate my life and the more I ponder. And I take action. I just take more, you know, mental action. Now, I do more brain work than physical work. And as I'm getting older, it's starting to become something that I'm doing both. Where, you know, going into my 30s, I'm getting more like, I had my time of mental activity. I had my time of, you know, mental silence and physical movement. And now I'm starting to move into a space in my life where I'm expected to be, you know, mentally active and physically active. While at the same time, I'm having people start to expect me to lead them, either literally or passive aggressively. And, you know, it's tough when I don't necessarily have a support system to turn to of people who are alive to decide what I should and shouldn't do. Most of the guidance and advice I get is from books and from, you know, memoirs and biographies and autobiographies of people who have passed away. Because nowadays I haven't really met anybody in my life to this point at all who is on par with some of the stuff that I deal with in my life at the caliber that I deal with it. So that's just where I'm at. Some people hear that as bragging. Other people realize that I'm complaining. So, that's what I'm actually doing is I'm just venting. People will be like, well, you're out here, you're living the way you're living. How on earth could you have that much responsibility? Well, I live in California. California's a very social state. Most of my responsibility is social as opposed to financial or, I don't really have many official responsibilities, but I have a lot of very unofficial responsibilities. And that's just the way it is, Thanks for the follow. Jacobs goes, basically overshot your runway. Yeah. Landed on some random island and actually survived. Milo, welcome to the broadcast. Rachel goes, you're homeless on the beach. If you had relatives that were wealthy, best believe you'd be on their doorstep. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I have been invited to the doorstep of several celebrities here in the area and people that I may or may not be related to. I'm really, really stubborn. And I also feel like a burden is the other thing. Like I've had people that are doing really, really well for themselves invite me in. And I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I'm not worth it. I feel like it's a personal thing. Okay, it's an internal, right? It's like I have all this confidence and all this responsibility, but that's where I derive most of my assertion from. That's where most of my attitude comes from is my responsibility. Whereas on an interpersonal level, I feel like shit. On an interpersonal level, I feel like I'm not worth anything. But that's just between me and me, All right, so Fairfax, Beverly. This is where the turn. Oh wow. Where do I go from here? I'm trying to figure it out. Beverly, did I turn? No, I keep going. Oh, I'm on Fair. Oh, I've gone way too far already. Fuck it. Let's just keep going. I'll figure out where I'm at later. I'm having fun. Besides, last night I slept like 5 hours, and that's all I needed. I woke up at like 3 a.m. There's like nothing going on. I don't have any more money to put in the market for now, so I got nothing else to do. So I'll just walk and have some fun. I don't got to worry about the battery dying because I can always recharge it or just take a break. That's good, thank you. California is supposed to chip the homeless if they're on benefits. Chip? What does chip mean? I've never heard that word used that way. Thought I was from Norway. No. I mean, my family. Yeah, my family bloodline's from Norway. But okay. So we're originally from Norway. My ancestors settled Wales, and then we came over to America. I am, I think, a second or third cousin of William Penn, who helped to settle Pennsylvania, Philadelphia specifically. I had a very, very trippy experience in Philadelphia. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, being one of the, what would the word be? Being someone that comes from that lineage does grant me some privileges. So, admittedly, I had a very, very, very interesting experience when I was in Philadelphia. Just stuff that I couldn't even explain to you. Honest truth, to this day. And the same stands for Hollywood, just because of our family's ties to LaFerrickson on the other end. So essentially, on the right side of the country, on the eastern side of the country, our family came in a really regular fashion. And cousins came in and helped settle Pennsylvania. And then on the opposite end, we had the Vikings a long time ago, come through, with LaFerrickson. who, came from Scandinavia, obviously, who is a distant cousin. So, the Scandinavians here in the area are the ones that I vibe with. I don't really talk about any of those people, any of our people. I don't know how you want to say it, but any of the people that come from my direct bloodline. But very interesting experience out here. I've had stuff happen out here that when I tell you, like, okay, so on the East Coast, I could, in some ways, surmise and explain to you some of the experiences that I had. Whereas on the West Coast, dude, there has been stuff that has happened to me out here. When I tell you I can't explain it to you, I'm saying I've had experiences while sober that I do not understand. Just stuff that I can't piece together, stuff that happens it was probably like really regular stuff. It just happened so quick that I don't necessarily understand what I saw, or like I can't piece together what I saw, if that makes any sense. So, and that's just the city life. And I'll tell you, when I first moved here, there was stuff like that. And then I had like repeat events of similar type situations. And it wasn't that bad. Like I was able to piece it together and figure out what was going on and what I was seeing. It was just experiences that had occurred that had happened so quickly that I didn't understand them. My brain couldn't process the experiences quickly. So it's like things happen so fast mixed with so much happening at once that it took time for my mind to process what I saw. So anyway, well, I'm dealing with people that, need to chill more than I do, which is rare. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you. Well, I let them chip. Chip that way. Listen, I already have one. So here's the thing. As long as the chip that I have doesn't interfere with a government chip, I take it. As long as it doesn't, as long as a government chip doesn't impede on my utilize the chip that I already have for the military, and it doesn't impede on my ability to utilize the Neuralink, which I know the Neuralink won't interfere with my ancient chip. Because it's like the one they put in there, man, it's really old school, okay? Like really old school. It's the type of stuff that, if you ever heard of people that thought they were kidnapped by aliens or whatever, it's that type of thing. Except, I gave them permission to put it in there, which is different than some people that, they're like just fast asleep and somebody put something in their head. I didn't have any crazy stuff happen to me like that. I don't know anything about anything like that. But what I got is similar to what some of those people have mentioned. So I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, so I kind of stay away from the topic. But thanks for the hearts. Especially considering even nowadays, like even in 2024, where the Neuralink is a thing. Talking about a chip is still like out of this world. Like most people are just like, it sounds crazy to talk about. So, until the Neuralink is like a really common thing, or we have like a government chip that's a common thing, I try not to talk about it too often because it doesn't go well. Let's put it that way. I'm just going to keep walking. I don't know where on earth I'm heading to, but I got nothing else to do, and I got a whole nother phone. So we're good. Hey, it's an improvement to do all this and live stream instead of just walking aimlessly, having no idea where I'm at or where I'm going. So.
Like I knew what I had when I got hired, basically. First, like that.
I just feel so weird right now. You have no idea. That's what. I have one crazy life. Was that? So the Gladiator 2 movie just came out, and they're kind of letting me judge people. It's a lot of fun. So I get to be like, you win, or I get to be like, fight to the death. And it's a lot of fun. But you didn't hear me say that in front of the United States Post Office. You didn't hear that. Bro, it's real shit out. It's real out here, man. Oh, man, is it real? It is not a joke out here. Yeah, I have a very interesting life. I will agree with you on that. Should I have a movie made? I hope not. I really hope not, honestly. At least not till I get my life together. Like, you got to understand, I've had some very cool experiences, but like my life right now for me feels like a failure. It really does. So whereas a lot of people see like success and like, you know, these really cool adventures, it's been fun. But I haven't actually accomplished most of what I've set out to accomplish in my life. I have incidentally accomplished a whole bunch of things that most people would put on their bucket list in the pursuit of things that I have yet to do. Owen Wilson could play. And what is with everybody in the whole Owen Wilson thing? Why does everyone keep bringing up me and Owen Wilson in the same? I don't know anything about Owen Wilson. I've seen some of his movies. I love the movies that he's in that I've seen, but I know nothing about the guy. Him or his brother. I actually just found out the past year that he's got that him and his brother are related. You know, like I didn't know. I didn't piece together the Wilson name for, you know, him and his brother. But I don't know why you would mention. Like, here's the thing in Hollywood. To some people, I'm considered like to model, and in some circles, considered a laughing stock. In some circles, I'm considered a disaster, and in some circles, I'm considered a success. So it really depends on who you're asking or who you're talking to. Starlink is the coolest thing that Elon's doing, in your opinion. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm watching Kim Kardashian's Instagram, and I don't know if you saw that, but she bought one of the robots, and she had it sitting in her Tesla. Absolutely wild, dude. It's like, for me, it's kind of scary. It's cool, but it's a little scary. Did I see any celebrities at the premiere? What premiere? I can't believe you just asked me that question. I mean, it's next level, so we're cool, but I'm actually surprised. I kind of expected my audience to help me maintain my privacy a little bit better than that. It's not that I'm not ready. It's just that I'm embarrassed about my situation. And I guess I've been here long enough that people are just starting to accept me and be okay with it and be like, look, shut the fuck up. You're coming over for a shower. And I'm like, you know, getting to point to where I'm getting emotional about it. Try not to get emotional about it. Because when you got someone that has everything going for them in their life, you know, saying, hey, come to the mansion, take a shower, it makes me want to shit myself more than walking 45 miles to Santa Monica. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wasn't ready for the level of acceptance I'm receiving, and I am not trying to be rejectionary. I'm just like processing. You know, I'm mentally processing where my life is at, because I don't feel like I deserve where my life is, because I don't fully understand how to calculate my own accomplishments. I've just done stuff so quickly and efficiently, but without the proper knowledge to understand what I've done, if that makes any sense. Like I said, I have the wisdom, but I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge separate from the wisdom. See, Kim Kardashian got a Tesla robot. I was just saying, yeah. Thanks for the hearts. Did I see any? Yeah. Ever thought about caddying at a golf course? Big money. I've thought about it, but I feel like I wouldn't want to embarrass myself too much. Like, if I were to caddy at a golf course, I don't really think that I'd like fit into that scene. I do good there. Before you know it, I would have money that I don't know what to do with that I don't want. So that's why I'm passing on it. disciplining myself. Glad to hear. Yeah, thanks for the hearts, close. Just mentioned the movie. Yeah, you're good. You're good. It's not your fault. You're good. I just got to find where I'm at because I've walked really far. And I'm on this realize that I like just and I where I'm at so I can turn. I mean, it's not that complicated. I can kind of just turn in one direction and I'll end up, back on Hollywood Boulevard. But then I'm going to have to walk all the way back. But at least I'll be tired at the end of all this. I'm heading back to Hollywood. I don't know where I'm at now. I might still be in West Hollywood. I might have gone further than West Hollywood. But I honestly don't know. Hollywood Boulevard, yeah. But I'm on Fairfax, so I got to find my way to, I guess, Santa Monica, maybe? But, I'm to a point where I'm seeing the 14 Metro. I've never seen the 14 before. I have no idea where I'm at. Not a clue. But that's okay. So we'll see. But I tell you, it's I'm disappointed in how stupid some people are. Because, I got people that are telling me, oh, I do know where I'm at. Okay. I got people that are trying to punish me or telling me I got to do this, I got to do that. Not realizing that I got socially, I'm above them now. And they don't know it. I didn't tell them. Why didn't I tell them? Because I wanted to see how they would treat me the second time around. And now I'm ahead of them and I'm above them. So all these people, like the person that tricked me into walking all this way, they're going to have to themselves, as a millionaire, they're going to have to put on sandals, a sweatshirt, and khakis, and they're going to have to walk everywhere that I just walked if they want to maintain the respect of the people that they know, because they aren't supposed to be doing this to me. And they're like, oh, aren't you embarrassed for me to fool you? I am the one guy you don't do this to. I'm the one singular person that you don't do this to. Most people learned last year. This year, we're going to have a whole lot of new students. Put it that way. Do I stay in one specific spot? Excuse me. Do I stay in one specific spot or wander around spot at night? I do whatever. I mean, it really depends. I don't really give out my social patterns, tell people where I'm at all times, and let people stalk me, especially ones that are just going to end up responding with, oh, I just wanted to know where you were at, or I just wanted to know. I was just curious. Yeah, you're curious until I wake up with something in my butt. That's really, it's really like that out here. It really is. So, I tell some people, because those are people that I challenge personally. But if it's the internet, you might as well not even ask. Because if I tell you, I'll be telling you the truth. But I probably have somebody on the corner videotaping you, videotaping me, when you're not supposed to be. So, there is somebody, and I wasn't going to say this as soon as I'm saying it, but I'll say it, is there's people on the internet that are sending people to follow me around Hollywood, take pictures and videos of me, just without my permission, just to freak me out. But it doesn't, I don't know why they think it freaked me out. It's just extra publicity. But I have somebody actually documenting me illegally. And so what they're doing is trying to make me look bad and making false reports to the police and stuff. And so what we're doing is taking all that they're doing, mixed with what I'm doing, and sending it to the police. And we've been doing that for about 3 months. So all this stuff that the cops are trying to say I'm doing that I'm not, or not, oh, I'm sorry. Oops, Freudian slip. Sorry to any undercover scumbags that decided to go corrupt. I didn't mean to just cost you all your jobs, but I did. So, yeah. To the people that aren't supposed to be documenting me in the middle of the night, including those who are in uniform, who are supposed to be minding their own business, catching criminals, you have lost your reputation for a reason. Don't be a little bitch and blame me. It's your own fault. So, yeah. I look like a plain white guy, but I'm still cute. Well, you look like a comment. And that's all I got. Ready to learn, teach. That's good. Stick around. You'll learn. Plenty to learn. No, you're fine, Rachel. You're fine. I mean, you're a little edgy, but you're okay. I think I'm a little edgy, but I'm acting. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, unless you're just like role playing, I don't know. Actually, see, that's the thing, though. White people are smart. White people are very smart. We started this country alone, on our own, before anybody else was here. We even settled it. Here's part of the story people don't know. They say, oh, the Native Americans. You want to know something? Before having any dealings with the Native Americans, we were settling our own land, minding our own business. In case you didn't know, the Native Americans attacked us first. Most people don't know that. But the Native Americans, and that's why the white man labeled the Native American as a savage. Because the white man, before the Native American, before we clashed with the Native Americans, the white man was minding his own business, settling an area where there were no Native Americans at all. And the Native Americans came onto our land when we were settling that area. Said, well, the Native Americans were there first, but you weren't where we were settling. And when that comes down to it, that's just called war. And people are like, oh, no, that's not fair to the Native Americans. Well, then is it fair to us when you come into our country and attack our people and expect us to favor you over our own? So you're going to come in, take our country to war domestically, then tell us who we are and who we are not to support when you're not even supposed to be here. And we're kind enough to let you be here. People forget it's still our country. So if you want involvement in it, grow up. I understand basic hand signals. What people don't understand is maybe 50 years ago, somebody manipulated them into 50 years down the road telling themselves to get out with the hand signal. And when they say get out, it means get out of this life, not get out of this country, or to get out of this state, or to get out of this situation. So right now I'm looking at a man in front of me who was mentally pre-programmed over 50 years ago to kill himself. And so he's walking down the road with his hands in a formation that would say to get out. And he doesn't realize that he was mentally programmed to commit suicide. And more than likely he will in the next week. And it probably will not end up on the news. And I say that in front of the T-Mobile store because I didn't get my gloves last week. And I'm a little upset about it. That somebody, the white man, interrupted me from going to the T-Mobile store and getting my free gloves that I earned. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second. Hey, boss. Do you guys still got any gloves left over from last week? You do? Can I get some? I'm on Metro. I'm live on Metro right now. I appreciate you. Now that's how it's done. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about T-Mobile. That's why I fuck with T-Mobile so hard. Listen to me. Okay. So I've been with the T-Mobile network since before it was popular. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to set you guys down outside. I'll be right back.
Yeah. You said 6 times.
I can show you. Yeah. I'd have to have it to know about the gloves, right?
Yeah.
Have a good day. All right. Where were we? Very happy about this. So T-Mobile Tuesdays, it's an app where if you have it, you can get free stuff. And so if you have T-Mobile or you have Metro, you can get free stuff. And since I have Metro, I can use the T-Mobile Tuesdays thing. And so I got a free pair of touchscreen gloves. They can keep me warm tonight. And I lucked out. Something I like even more about T-Mobile, and you better give that kid a promotion, not take his job. Because one thing I like about T-Mobile is they're not disgustingly to the books, right? So like Starbucks at one point was a fantastic place to go. And now they're so organized and they have so much money that the only thing they're doing is saying that the rules matter more than the person. Excuse me. So like, for example, you guys know what my background is. So I'm cool with pretty much everybody. But when it comes to business, I'm choosy. Say I'm choosy. And I'm definitely choosy when it comes to, like where I get my service from. Just for the fact that I obviously use a lot of data. T-Mobile has never let me down. I have never once been throttled. Ever. I still remember talking to a family friend about T-Mobile. And not that they were making fun of me, but they were like, oh, you use T-Mobile, you're lame. And now T-Mobile has like the biggest network in the country and, has 5G towers across the entire world. And I remember he's like, oh, no, you have to have Verizon. You have to have Verizon. And I had Verizon and I thought, oh, T-Mobile's doing something right. So, I trusted my instinct. I went with T-Mobile. I was right. It's nice being right because now, instead of just feeling special and paying $200 a month for 30 gigs, I'm paying $45 a month for unlimited data. And it's actually unlimited because of my tenure with the company. Instead of being throttled at 30 gigs, I actually get 200, 300, 400 gigs a month on a $200 phone. So I'm just trying to figure out which way leads me to Hollywood. I don't feel like pulling out my other phone. But what I do see is the mountains in that direction. So we're going to head in that direction. And considering we're on La Brea, I'm about to be on, I'm on La Brea now. I should end up making it to Hollywood. Hopefully if I'm walking in the right direction, but yeah, we'll see. Because I see, yep, there's a Hollywood sign. We're going in the right direction. We're good. It can get confusing out here. Like, I know it's the city. You're good. I'm slow. Oh, yes, sweet. Okay. You know what's fun? When somebody thinks you're cute and you start acting like a homeless person just to be funny. Maybe you can't relate to that, but time to time. Guys, listen. Listen to me closely. You can get in a lot of trouble. Okay? I already know, you know what I'm talking about. Even if, listen, it doesn't matter if you make me paranoid, you can get federally indicted. It's not a joke. You cannot call the police claiming someone is carrying a bomb who's live streaming and be making comments to try and make it look that way. I mean, here, I'm literally past the security right now. It looks like they have like a, well, if that's not, let me see. That's security. They're not supposed to have that kind of badge, but I didn't see that. What do you call it? What was they? They said a badge that looks very similar to a sheriff's badge, and it's extremely socially inappropriate and very illegal. But better let them know before Trump sweeps through here. So, bro, I'm telling you, man, they are going to be coming through white glove. I already know ahead of time. I'm telling you, the two people that are going to be safe, I hate to say it, the Jews and the Catholics. And the Catholics, if they're lucky, it's going to be bad. Anybody non-religious is fucked because the standard that they're holding is a religious standard. They're going to be coming through white glove. It's going to be bad. And I don't mean good. I mean bad. Because like most of us are kind of just trying to mind our own business and do our own thing. And they're going to be coming to town telling us what to do and how to live. And people are like, for some people, they're like excited, not realizing how much money it's going to cost them. It's kind of like if you own a farm and the government comes through and does an audit, it costs you a lot of money because they're always telling you what to do and how to do it. So they're gonna come through the whole city and they're gonna tell us how to live. So I hope you're ready because I'm not. I mean, I'm prepared, but when I say I'm not ready, I mean we're not ready. But like, I'm ready. But that's not enough. We gotta be ready. Basically a reverse double agent. No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Thanks for the follows. How are you edgy? Honestly, I don't even want to find out. I really don't. Okay. Cool. And I'll get back just in time to be able to charge my phone back up, which is good. Yeah, no, we talked about this last time. Guys, there were 2 people that got federally indicted for trying to go on the whole, the BOMB thing. Like, cut it out. This isn't a game. It's not a joke. It's not. Like, you guys tried the same thing 2 years ago. Your little psycho internet group tried the same thing 2 years ago. And that's exactly what happened. Or not 2 years ago, about a year ago. And that's what happened is you guys, you don't know about it because they swooped them up in the middle of the night. But yeah, just don't even joke about it. Don't even try to joke about it. Don't even try to do it to make me look paranoid because it's not worth it. You will get, like, I'm just telling you how the federal government works because you obviously don't know. I am telling you for a fact based on the federal standard in our country, as far as investigations go, is you're not triggering an investigation on me. Pre-COVID, sure. Post-COVID, you make a comment like that, like somebody made a fake call to the cops, and then they turn around and put a comment here in the live stream saying boom boom. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you got me to say it. I'm not getting investigated because the federal government has my name on a list already to track every little thing I do because of you, which is fine with me. I'm not worried about the federal government. You are. I'm not a criminal. You are. So I'm telling you, instead of doing stuff that's going to get you in trouble and trying to entrap people, shut your mouth and mind your own business before you go to prison. Like, how many people from the circle that we run in, how many of them have to go to prison before you wake up and realize that it isn't a game? Like, and here's what happens. One of those people will go to prison and you're like, oh, we're good. Oh, we're good. We got rid of him and we won. No, you didn't win. You lost because one of the people in your group, whether you like them or you don't like them, somebody that you were able to trust on some level is now gone and is owned by the government until the government says otherwise. All right? So trust me when I tell you, because I know from personal experience, I got people that I once trusted that decided to leave our group and now they're incarcerated because they refused to grow up and they refused to do the right thing. And so I keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I stay out of the way and mind my own. And I'm walking up to the Hollywood sign. I'm on La Brea, right? I'm doing good, having fun, live streaming with you. And I'm not running into any problems at all. Any at all. Because of the way that I'm doing it. So I get it. You feel safe. I know you feel safe. But you're not safe to do what you're doing. You're safe to think what you're thinking because that's your own business. What's inside your mind is your own business. But you're not safe to act on that even when you think you are. We live in a society that is constantly monitored. Everything you do is at least recorded, if not monitored by video. Is at least recorded by audio. So remember that. And most people don't think about it. Like, you're not paranoid to remember the fact that you're constantly being recorded. You're not paranoid to think about it all the time. It's a matter of awareness. You want to maintain social awareness. So that's why I personally keep it on my mind. I don't focus on it. I bring it up when you guys forget. When you forget about it, I bring it up to remind you so that you don't lose your awareness. My level of awareness, I barely even need it at this point in my life. I have so many people that look out for me. I don't have to be. I could let my guard down if I really wanted to, which is like a very rare gift. But the fact of the matter is that's where I'm at in my life. And if you want to get there, it starts with admitting to yourself where our society is. And where we are as a society is that it's not good or bad. It's not good or bad that everything is recorded. It's not. It's just the way things are now. And I guess the advice I'm giving you is to adapt to how things are instead of trying to struggle with how things are. You know, so like I find a balance between old school and new school. I find a balance between how things were and how things are. You know, and I live in that balance, and that balance keeps me safe from falling, obviously, in one direction or another. And so when it seems like I might be going off or like I might be having an episode, I'm actually just talking to you about things that affect you because I care about you. I really do. I mean, I'm spending my day out here in the sun blasting my battery as I'm, walking back home and, just being totally out of the way to begin with and having lost my way for you. You know, like if I wasn't live streaming, I obviously wouldn't have lost where I'm at, but I don't mind. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is I would appreciate, being told if I am appreciated for the time and energy that I invest in you. And if I'm not, then why waste my time? You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the follows. You have T-Mobile, thanks for the tip. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. Shameless plug. No affiliation, just, personal tenure over the past almost, oh my gosh. I've been using T-Mobile for almost 10 years. Almost 10 years I've been using T-Mobile. Or at least, T-Mobile service, T-Mobile, GSM networks. T-Mobile Tuesdays is freaking awesome. Just this past week, they had free, buy one, get one free, a free sandwich at Jack in the Box. You had to buy like a small fry or something like that, but you get a free sandwich at Jack in the Box. Thanks for the follows. Like I remember when they first came out with T-Mobile Tuesdays, I used to be getting free burgers and all. Like they don't give out as much as they used to, but they still give out a lot of stuff. Like compared to most companies, like in any sector, not just, phone company, pretty much any sector, they don't just give out free stuff. And when they do, they expect you to get something with it, But like these gloves, guys, literally free. Not like, oh, it's this or that you have to get with it or something, or you have to, purchase a plan or a product. No, just literally because I'm a T-Mobile customer, I got a free pair of gloves. So, really, thanks for follow. What about pagans? You mean people that believe in gods? They'll get socially, categorized. I mean, that's just the way it is, Like, it's a thing where the cops don't even know about it, and I'm trying to keep them informed without being a snitch. So it's a really tough situation where, we're at combat, and I hate to say it, but we are literally combating with our federal government. Local governments are combating with the federal government. And I'm over here trying to figure out who stands where, literally sometimes. I'm trying not to get caught up in the middle of stuff, while at the same time looking out for people, and that could be tough. And admittedly, looking out for myself can sometimes be the most difficult part of the conversation or situation. But I got time. People are all skis down anyway, so I'm just gonna wait. I often find when I'm the most stressed out, doing something for another person is usually the best thing I can do. And sometimes by doing something for another person, I'm doing something for myself. So for me today, doing something for myself meant slowing down just long enough to wait for the next light because I didn't feel like walking. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, as far as pagans and people that believe in anything that's non-universal, you really got to be careful. Like when I tell you got to be careful, I mean like if you believe in anything, and this isn't joking, this ain't no conspiracy. If you believe in anything other than Jesus or nothing, you need to be really careful because like society is not playing. These people that are in power are not joking around. They believe that it's the end of the world or whatever they're thinking. And they're seriously not playing. Like, people do not realize how much they don't care about your life and my life. What I tell you, why do people even care? Like, I would love just to be driving. I can't even imagine having time to argue with people while I'm driving. I couldn't even imagine. I've never had time to do that, and I hope I never make the time for it. But yeah, so I mean, you have these people that are like alt-right and alt-left who have essentially at this point taken over our society, and they're very polarized against each other. And then you have the local governments fighting with the federal government, and what it all comes down to is, honestly, people who are clinically unstable who believe that it's the end of the world, and they're all fighting over these Christian values that you don't have to fight over to use or to have, be a part of your life. You don't have to fight with people to live your truth. You don't have to. But a lot of people just don't agree with that, Like, we're going to have war, but we don't have to have it domestically. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we, guys, in all seriousness, if we lose our country, I will honestly not care about anything anymore for the rest of my life. That's how I feel. I love America, and if we lose America to anything, if we lose our truth in this country to any other belief system or governmental structure, I won't care about anything. I'll still be ethically responsible by choice, but interiorly I will be empty. I'm not joking. It does blow my mind how few people actually care. And I think it's just ignorance. I think people don't actually know, what our country is, or, what we really do as a country. Most of us kind of just involve ourselves in what benefits us. Like me personally, I'm not better than anybody. If anything, I'm worse, to tell you the truth. But I really rely on my country a lot, and not in like a patriotic way, in like before patriotism was even a word. Just like the value system that we have in this country is just non-existent anywhere else in the world. You can go to most countries in the world and find a similar structure in another country. Whereas in America, there isn't any other country in the entire world that does things the way we do. Not a single one. So if we lost what we have here and we were just a blip on the radar, I mean, it would break my heart. I'd be empty. Like, I don't know what I would do. I really don't. I would just keep doing what I'm told, I guess, in whatever country this became. But I just, some people, it's like so often people see whatever country they live in as being like eternal, and an unstoppable empire. And that's what concerns me the most is like right before the fall of an empire or the fall of a country, or, whatever type of social structure you have going on, or governmental structure, it's like the fall comes right after everybody thinks they got it all figured out. As soon as everybody believes that our country is going to last forever, or our structure is going to last forever, that's when we lose it. And then some people be like, oh, I'm bored, or this isn't interesting, or whatever it might be. And I'm just like, dude, like, I'm not saying this to get attention. Like, do you understand that? I don't think people understand that I'm not saying what I'm saying to get attention. I'm not saying what I'm saying to rally people or build interest. Honestly, I'm not. I am saying what I'm saying to help people recognize the value of our, what a privilege, what a blessing, how lucky we are to live in this country. And just to remind you of, the level of gratitude we really should have for living in this country. That's my personal opinion. Sometimes I can't stand my own country. Sometimes I'm just ready to get the hell out of here. But when it comes down to it, I remember, I remember how much, how do I put it? How good life is in this country. And then that kind of calms me down. If there's nothing else that calms me down, there's two things in this life that calm me down when I just can't seem to be able to calm down. That's my wife and thinking about my country. that, our country. That's the only two things that calm me down. God's honest truth. Like when I really get pissy, when I really get like irate to the point where like I can't calm down, just thinking about how good I have it or thinking about my wife, that does it for me. But that's about all that does it for me. So. What's up, Rocky? Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. Oh, and so I guess my wife's been saying that I'm not answering her. Let me tell you something. She's got a PFA against me. Of course I'm not going to answer her. I love her, but until that PFA is dropped, I'm not a freaking criminal. I'm not picking up the phone until the PFA is gone. I'm not an idiot. I mean, I might look stupid, but I'm not. So I love you, but until there ain't no PFA, I'm not picking up that phone. I miss you. Oh my God, is it tough not to pick up that phone and to answer your texts? But I'm not I'm not taking the bait. I was stupid when you lost me, and when I lost you, but now I'm smart. Because I met a whole lot of other men that went through the same thing. And I miss you as much as you miss me. But if you have to have leverage, then we're going to need more time. Until you give up your leverage, we just can't be physically together. That's just the way it is. I don't have any leverage on you. I don't. And I don't need it. So if you feel you need leverage on me just to make it look like you need protection against me, then we can't be together. And it is what it is. Like, you have to choose between allowing me to be my own man and being together. If you don't feel safe or comfortable to be with me, unless there's a PFA, well, realize that then that would make me a criminal. And since I'm not one, even though you may feel that I am one, it's not appropriate. So I can't be with you until you drop that, because it would be a crime. And I don't know if you just don't grasp that concept or what the deal is, but as much as I love you, I'm not interested in living a criminal life with you. I'm not. And if that's not your goal, then if you want to be with me, you got to drop the PFA. But if you don't want to be with me, that's fine. Just, realize that I'm just going to be lonely over here while you try to reach out to me. And I'll tell you, honestly, I would rather you be reaching out to me as much as you want to, even though I can't answer yet. Because, no matter what makes me feel loved. And I miss you. I do. So maybe one day it'll work out. Obviously, right now isn't the time, but it'll work out. Thanks for the hearts. Good deal. I don't know what part we're talking about, but thanks goes. You get sponsorship again before long, I'm sure. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I used to get for free and products I used to sponsor that are now like super popular, and stuff that and services and whatnot. And stuff and apps and stuff that now that there's popular creators using and promoting stuff that I made popular. And when I say I don't mean 5 or 6 different creators or a whole bunch of people hopped on. I mean literally, I was the only person backing the product, or I was the only person backing the service, and I literally piggybacked it into popularity, and then all the major creators would pick it up. And that's fine with me. That's good. I take the credit right where it's due. And I'll get to that point where I am the big guy picking up the idea that someone else came up with. I guess I'm kind of there now, which is good. But, I would like the credit for the time that I was in the middle there. Kind of just holding up everybody. But as far as sponsorships and stuff, I haven't really been going for anything. I have to admit to you, I haven't been really trying to get any of those sponsorships or to get any products in my hands that I'm interested in, So for me, I am to the point in my, I would say, social media life, like the part of my life that involves social media, where people should be coming to me. If they want me to promote a product or service, I shouldn't have to come to them. If I like a product or service enough, I'll still reach out on my own. But for the most part, I kind of sit back and wait. And I get a lot less than a lot of people do but I also don't get fines for soliciting. So that's nice, you know. Frosted Flakes, dude, listen, that's radicalism, all right? Like, if you don't agree with who I believe in, that's fine with me. That's your truth. Your truth is your truth. My truth is my truth. But you got to understand that saying on a live stream what you're saying is going to get you put on a government watch list. Literally. It cannot be. So unless you say ahead of time that you're making a parody or that you're joking around, people take you seriously, and then you end up having your entire life looked at. So you got to be really careful with what you say. Really don't care. Yeah, I know. But listen, most people don't, but some people do. And so you put it out there for the people that do. But I don't do it all the time. It's just when I'm feeling passionate about it, you know? So, ID, thanks for the follow. Stassi, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Thanks for being here. Didn't know I was married. Yeah, I've been married for a couple of years. During COVID, my wife and I got wrapped up in a situation that ended up becoming classified, and that caused us to have to leave our state. And then after ended up becoming top secret, which I don't have any ties to the government or anything. That's just really, really weird situation that happened. Her and I ended up having to split up. And due to us having to split up physically, she ended up she hated my guts because she felt like it was my fault that any of it happened to begin with, just because of social media. Because just my involvement in social media was essentially the cause of how we ended up in the middle of the situation that we ended up in the middle of. So my fault. I'll admit it. It's my fault that we split up. Because if I hadn't been on social media during the time when we both wanted privacy, if I had respected our privacy, then we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in. How does she reach out? I'm not going to say, because she could end up getting in trouble. She could end up with a criminal charge over it. She's reaching out to me in a way that law enforcement does not have access to it. Even if they were to take my phone and open it, it wouldn't be there. Even if they were to hack into my phone, they wouldn't find any of it. So I'm not going to talk about it. But her and I are thankfully connected. Just what we don't do is break the law to be connected. So she can reach out to me. She can say whatever she wants to me, but I can't respond. Not until the PFA is either dropped or ends up, running out of time. Good morning. How are you? Thanks for the hearts. Where am I going? I'm heading back up to Hollywood Boulevard. I'm actually deeply impressed with my ability to make it back to Hollywood Boulevard. Because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten lost in Hollywood. And I actually successfully made it back to Hollywood without my feet falling off, without being so tired that I'm passing out. So I did something right somewhere. But when I first moved here, man, it was so confusing. The streets are so confusing. And I challenged myself too. I've been all over Los Angeles on foot. But now it's so easy and so simple where all I have to do is know north from south, and I can make it back to Hollywood. I can make it pretty much all over northern Los Angeles and northwestern Los Angeles with a compass, which is kind of cool when you think about it. But it took a lot of practice and a lot of walking. I don't know all the streets and everything, but I know how to make it from city to city just using a compass. I learned a lot, okay? When I first moved here, I went quite a while without pulling out my phone too often. And, I learned a lot. Let's just say I feel like I essentially got addicted to an education. I got addicted to learning. I really did. And I know that sounds impossible, but it isn't. Because I'm living proof that it's possible to become addicted to learning. Because I was learning so much, but it was also a partial detriment to my health. because I was like so obsessed with learning what I was learning that I wasn't taking care of my own bodily needs or like paying attention to, my own survival. Like I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't eating right. And I was literally just obsessed with, accomplishing my goals in the realms of knowledge. So, sorry to hear that. No, I'm good. No sweat. Yeah, and it's disappointing when some people just lose their cool. Nice to me since you first started coming into broadcast. So I'm not going to block you, but I'm going to mute you. I know what it's like to have a bad day and go off a little bit and, be too mean to people. So, I know you probably just had an outburst or I said something that triggered you or pissed you off. So I'm not going to apologize for what I said. I am acting. Maybe you didn't realize that, but you don't got to worry about me. Just, when you decide that you are ready to, speak to me respectfully again, then, you'll be open to speak next broadcast. Social media is your job to keep your privacy. Believe it or not, when you know what you're doing, it's really easy. Rocky, thanks for the donuts. You have to get good at it, Maintaining your privacy while being on social media is really easy when you respect the privacy of the people around you. Wild thought, right? Most people nowadays struggle with the whole... Here, give me 1 second.
Where you keep?
Okay, so the... what do you call it? The biggest thing people struggle with in reference to social media is where they overshare about the people around them. I overshare about myself sometimes. I'll admit that, but I don't overshare about anybody in my life, if that makes any sense. Anna, thanks for following. And if I do go off about someone that exists in my life, I'll say it discreetly. Like I'll say what I have to say without giving detail. So from time to time, I say what has to be said, but that doesn't mean, I don't have to sell anybody out. There's no need to sell anybody out to get what I want. And some people think that there is a need. I call that either laziness or just somebody's choice. I can tell you that I've had people who really, really, really wanted information. I can tell you something. Information gatherers do not care more about the information than your life. You have to be a very important person for that information to have more value than your human life. So if you're worried about that, worry a little bit less, because the likelihood is pretty low. Amish, what's up? How are you? And here's my recommendation. There are people that believe that certain information is more important than your life. All you got to do is help them understand that it isn't. Okay? So, you could do one of two things. You could give in, and then you're a rat. Just telling you how it is. Or you find a way to reason with them in one way or another. Sometimes you reason with them by just taking the punch to the jaw. And when you wake up and it's over, you didn't talk. Or on the other hand, you find a way to convince them to give you information. And when they're done talking, they realize how much they messed up by telling you things they weren't supposed to tell you. And they usually get embarrassed and back off. Hello, how are you? That's a big truck. I don't even fit that in here. Merry Christmas. It's not anywhere near Christmas, but I said Merry Christmas because they do trees. Hello, how are you? Yeah, so I'm in like this weird place in my life where I have to choose between racists and black people. And I don't think people understand that it doesn't work that way. Because like black people are racist too. So I don't really choose anybody because I don't like getting put in the middle of people's wars. That's just how it is. You have a nice day too. Like when our country isn't at war, maybe I'll make time to be a douchebag. But while all of our lives are at risk and Putin is thinking about dropping a bomb on California, I don't think I have time to think about it. No offense, but I don't. It's not really on my agenda to worry about whether you're black or white when there is a guy less than 5,000 miles away ready to drop a bomb on Los Angeles that would turn it into a crater. Karina, thanks for the follow. Cariana, thanks for the follow. So, when the war's over and we're done fighting about everything, maybe I can learn to hate you. But until the war's over, I just don't have time. I don't have time to hate you. I don't have time to learn how to hate you. I just don't. But me personally, I am scared to shit. Oh, excuse me, sir. Thank you. I am scared to death because Russia is not playing with us. They're not playing fair. And Donald Trump is thinking that it's his buddy. He thinks that Putin is his buddy. And I am terrified about that even more so because although he's a very intelligent man, I don't think he realizes, hey, it's Russia. We're not dealing with a docile country. We're dealing with a country, thanks for the follow, where their dictator, they're I don't know what you call him. I guess maybe he's a president. I don't remember what his title is. But what I do know about a certain individual on an unrecorded basis, on an unofficial basis, is that more people have died in that country during his ruling, or however you put it, than during the Holocaust, undocumented. So that is the person that we're trusting not to drop a bomb on us. I'm going to tell you how it's probably going to go. The likelihood is that Putin is completely bluffing. And when I say bluffing, I mean bluffing about not dropping a bomb. More than likely, what's going to happen is our country is going to, Trump is going to end up having a conversation with Putin, and they're going to come to a consensus where we give Russia a disgusting amount of money under the cuff, and they decide not to drop a bomb on our physical, homeland. And then what I'm guessing is we're going to end up having a really big fight on the ocean. And he's probably going to take out a whole lot of our ships, and we're going to keep it completely out of the news. That's my guess. So, wish me luck. Oh my gosh. Sorry, someone's all capsing me. I just got to see what they're talking about. Russia's military. Listen, they're playing weak. Listen. You don't understand Russians. They are clever as fuck. All right? They don't care how many of their people die. They're not American. Listen, if you're going to understand Russian war tactics, you have to think like a Russian, not like an American. As an American, we think about how many lives we can save, not necessarily always whether or not it looks like we won. Okay? So, for example, we won in Vietnam because the war ended. All right? America won the war in Vietnam by allowing the war to end instead of obliterating a country and making ourselves look even worse and be even worse. You know, we saved our country by giving up on the war in Vietnam. As far as what we got going on right now, you have to think like a Russian to understand Russian war tactics. They're not thinking about saving their people. They're not thinking about having lost 200,000 troops. They're thinking about how weak they look having lost 200,000 troops and how we're going to think we're winning. And then they're going to turn around and slit our president's throat when we're not looking, or possibly right on live camera. So that's who we're dealing with and what we're dealing with. But if you don't agree with that, you're not paying attention. It's Russia. It is Russia. It's not America. They don't care about us. And people don't understand that they do not care about us. Our best shot in hell at not being blown to bits is the fact that this guy that I can't stand who's taking the presidency is going to talk Putin out of by giving him a disgusting amount of money, bombing our country. He's going to keep him from bombing our country by giving Russia a disgusting amount of money. And it's pathetic, it's corrupt, but it's Russia. And nothing else would have worked. And if you disagree with that, that's fine. You're welcome for the fact that you're not going to have to enjoy a burial of ashes under a bomb. But please tell me how you know better. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way it was going to go. And I hate the fact that Trump won, but I could tell you for a fact that I would have had to lead the country just to stay alive because we would have been bombed. If Kamala won, our country would have suffered massive damage through, having to ended up with a domestic attack from, overseas from Russia. And as far as China, here's how it would have went. If Kamala Harris won, which I would have preferred had we had a better state in the country, like a better state of affairs in our country, Russia would have bombed us and made us weak. Then I'm sorry to tell you, but the Latinos that don't like the American people, and there's a lot of them living in our country, which I don't have any problem with Latinas or Latinos, obviously. The ones who hate America would have turned right against us and militarized against us. They would have sided with the anti-American groups that we still have in this country. They would have tried taking over this country. We would have asked for help from China at our last-ditch effort. And then China, after sending their own people, would have essentially tanked our economy. And that's how it would have went. And then, between South America, I don't want to say South America, I'm sorry. Between the Latin people and the Chinese, we would have lost our land and we would have had to forfeit our economy to China. And that's exactly how it would happen. Now, instead, we are going to bribe the hell out of world leaders that are against our country and not have to die a miserable death or be put under the regime of foreign powers that hate America. Like these countries that we're saying they're like our best friends. Remember, Donald Trump is a businessman. Think about it. He's a businessman. He's not thinking about whether or not China or Russia likes us. He knows that they hate us. He's playing businessman to keep them from bombing the shit out of us. And do I agree with that? No, not at all. But I tell you what, our alternative was dying. There was no third option. There was stamping our feet and expecting totalitarian countries to take mercy on us, and they wouldn't have. And then there was letting this guy take over the country just long enough to keep us alive. And so I'm disappointed that Donald Trump won the presidency, but I'm very happy that we get to stay alive. Thanks for the follows. I'm sorry, we got to get rid of this person. That's no good. I can't have that on my broadcast. All right, thanks for the follow. Thanks for listening. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to go ahead and hop off real soon. I got to go charge my phone. Oh, thank you. I got to go charge my phone, so I have to hop off of here pretty quick. in a little bit, but I'm with you for now. For another block or two. I'm with you for a couple more blocks, and then I have to hop off the live stream for a little while. So, now you know my perspective. I don't like talking about politics. I don't like talking about all that. Most people don't put much word into it or have much to say about it. But I'll tell you what, my public figure presence, or whatever the heck you want to call it, is not nearly as important as people feeling confident enough to speak their mind in public in America. Because although I do live where I live and I believe in what I believe in, I'm not much for censorship. I think it's important to give a censorship option, but once our rights and our freedoms start being imposed upon, then we no longer are educating the people. And the main notion, like the whole point of America, like our country exists to teach the world what it means to be equal. Our country exists to educate people on what it means to love thy neighbor as thyself, whether you are a believer in that notion or not. That's what we're here for. We are here to teach one another how to get along. That's what we're supposed to do as Americans, and I'd like to think we're pretty darn good at it. So I'm very glad that our country gets to live to see another day. I hope to God that the person that's taken over our country doesn't actually successfully steal it from us. So I'll put it to you this way. I'm glad that Trump won so that we don't have to get bombed, but I am not excited for the war that's about to ensue between us and, the totalitarianism that has invaded that party, should they decide to attempt to take over our country. If they don't, we're good. But what a lot of people don't understand is that even with these insurrectionists and people like that, if Donald Trump tries taking over this country, all those people that are his major followers, they will turn against him immediately. They really will, because at the end of the day, their main interest is this country. Their main interest is not Donald Trump. They're happy that Donald Trump is, in their opinion, saving the country. But if Donald Trump turns against America by trying to take it over, they're going to turn against him. His biggest supporters will end up being his worst enemies if he tries stealing the country from up under us. So, like I said, I'm glad that Trump won so that we don't get bombed by a foreign country, but I can't stand the guy. So if he tries to take over the country, you can count on America fighting back. And that's just the way it is. When they stormed on January 6th, that was a crime. And it was a pretty bad thing, right? Totally unnecessary and a terrorist move. But if Donald Trump goes against our country in the way that he tries to take it over, should he attempt to try to take it over the way that the Democrats did in the last 4 years, then we will respond accordingly. I'm not personally part of any of those militias or anything like that. But what I know is our country is very good at reacting when it wants to. I'm very disappointed that our country is at a point in history that it's in where it becomes a necessity for those people to take action in order for our country to remain American. But remember, we created this problem ourselves. We really did create this problem ourselves. So you have all these terrorist organizations like BLM and these alt-right groups that are all white and hate black people. Well, they're all criminals. They're classified as domestic terrorist organizations by the U.S. military. All right. And that's because of the tactics that they use. But they would not exist if we didn't create them. We created them through hate. We are the ones that incidentally brought about these domestic terrorist organizations that exist in this country through our own personal behavior and refusal to take responsibility for what goes on in our homeland. So you got organizations like Homeland Security, you got Homeland Security, Department of Defense, and the State Department working together. Guys, 30 years ago, they didn't even know each other existed. Okay? Like when I was born, those three organizations not only didn't talk, but they actually didn't even really know about one another's existence any further than, the people at the top of the line. So if that tells you anything, I'm just trying to say how, if we end up having, some sort of civil war go on over all this, make sure to keep yourself away from the criminal organizations, because trust me when I tell you, even if you're fighting for this country, even if your goal is to keep America, if you decide to group in with one of these organizations that the military considers a domestic terrorist organization, you will, for the rest of your life, be considered a domestic terrorist by the United States government. Okay? You will end up being categorized as such. So do not get yourself involved in these organizations. If you feel like there's a way that you can help your country, just do it in the old-fashioned traditional ways that most people normally do. And if it's something that involves anything further than defending your country from a domestic threat, don't. And if it's not a domestic threat to the existence of our country in the fashion, that it does exist, then don't get yourself involved. That's my recommendation. If it's something that the government can handle without having it, if it's something the government can handle without taking over our country, let them do it. But if it's something the government if the government's trying to take over the country at that point in time, then you intervene, because that's the American thing to do. But don't intervene with these groups that are domestically, considered terroristic, because you're just going to get yourself in trouble. So what do you do? The question is, what do? You do as much as you can without breaking the law. It really is that simple. And if your emotions are a little higher than that, if you're a little more involved in that, admittedly, then it's time to step away for a little bit. Because trust me, where you're not, someone else definitely will happily take your place to go ahead and assist in maintaining our country and not letting it get taken over, by any foreign powers or anyone domestically who might be interested in stealing away the country. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying to you is, if you feel like you can't maintain yourself and you can't withhold your composure, you can't maintain your composure, during wartime, let somebody else do it. Because trust me, somebody else will show up who can do it. I could tell you with some of, what I've been involved in the last decade of my life, there have been times where I couldn't handle it and I had to step aside, let somebody else do it. So, when someone tells you that you said too much, tell them to shut the fuck up. Because they should. I stay uninvolved, but I also make sure to use my freedom of speech. I am originally from Pennsylvania. I am a very stubborn Yankee turned Californian. And my choice to join the people here in California was, essentially sparked by just honestly the alt-right movement. It was too much for me. The racism and the hatred is something I can't do. It's too much negativity for me. I'm someone that I stick to my own, but I am also an American. And the people who believe that, just being one way is American, it's actually anti-American. And if you don't understand that, you're brainwashed. And you should Google it. And there's something else to it. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thanks for the hearts. Fought in Ukraine. No, we don't talk about any of that. What I can tell you is they pay a lot of money to do that. I referred quite a few people to that, but I didn't do it myself. I sent a few of my own over there, a couple of people that were, let's say similar to me. But that wasn't my thing. How do I put this? You don't have to fight for the right thing to preserve what's proper and appropriate. Doesn't always require fighting or war. And anything we can do to keep the fight off of U.S. soil, I think is first and foremost the most important thing. If you want to fight amongst yourselves, there's 200 plus countries that you can fight amongst yourselves in. There's no reason to put the American public at risk just because you're not getting along with somebody. So if you are stuck between the left and the right and all these people that are fighting, do me a favor. Go pay somebody in Mexico to borrow their land and you guys can go fight like chickens. And if you don't want to grow up, don't grow up, but just keep it off our land, If just imagine somebody wakes up and you're fighting on their front lawn. No, thank you. And imagine that they're fighting on your front lawn. I'm not going to do it because I'm not crazy. And to me, fighting domestically, especially during wartime, is absolute insanity. There's no reason why we should fight amongst ourselves while there's so much going on in countries that want to, end us. You know what I'm saying? So just stick to your own, keep it peaceful, do your best. And anytime there's some sort of social clash, just honestly, I don't know how else to tell you. Either figure it out or get over it, because America is going to stay America. And the only way that's ever going to be at risk is if we decide to fight amongst ourselves. That's the most effective way any country has ever been dissolved, is by getting the citizens or the people that live within that country to fight amongst themselves. That's the number one most effective tactic in social dissolution, is by getting people to fight amongst themselves. So if you can find a way to get along with somebody you hate, you won for our country, and you don't have to worry about anyone else's opinion on it. All right, I'm gonna go. I gotta charge up, but I will talk to you very soon. Thanks for. Oh, I went and I'm picking up my packages, and I'm dressed, incognito. And you know how it is in the industry. They're like, we have control of you. We're going to do what we say. I'm like, I don't think you understand that I'm an American. Before I'm anything else, I am an American. And so, there's two people pointing at me, making it look like on the security cameras as though I have a bomb, right? And I'm not going to lie to you, I cracked up. Because I'm like, I'm over here waiting to do a live stream. So these scumbags that want to make it look like I got a bomb, I want another word other than scumbag, because I use that word way too much. You trash motherfuckers need to find something better to do. You've never defused a bomb. So you ungrateful losers need to find another country to fuck with, okay? You want our shit, you can earn it. You want what I got, you can earn it, all right? So to those of you who think that you are creating leverage when you try to make it look like I got a bomb, you can suck my big fat cock. And if you want me to be socially appropriate, you can earn that shit too. You had socially appropriate until you tried to take advantage of me and take control of my life. You made a huge mistake. I am probably one of 5 people in the entire country that is an American that you cannot play this game with. You didn't know. You didn't learn. This is the second time we've gone through this. You will go through it a third time. I won't. I only went through it a second time to learn a couple of things, but I am very excited to watch the oldest of old schools spin in a circle while I get to move forward. This holy mother of God that I earn it. Thanks for the hearts. So I went in there, I grabbed my packages like a boss. And when they're pointing at me being a bunch of assholes, I just walked over to the trash can and threw out my shit, started my live stream, and that was it. Good afternoon, Mario. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for the hearts. Yeah, I notice I keep saying what I'm saying, and I got my pack. If you see my pack, it's huge, and it looks like a, not my problem. So here's what I'm saying. I have you-know-who on my side with all this, which is good. When I say you-know-who, I'm talking about like law enforcement and whatnot, right? So I'm essentially working together with everybody that I got to take on these huge-ass criminal organizations that think they have the right to take advantage of U.S. citizens. They're not taking these people on purpose. I'm kind of just taking them on my own, and then they're just like cleaning up after me when I trip over my own dick. So, it's not like we're actually working together. I'm just kind of like doing stuff that has to get done. And they're like, would you please stop? And I'm like, I'll stop when they stop. And they're like, can everybody just get along? And I'm like, we can when they stop trying to control my life. And we're getting there. Slow but sure, we're getting there. So what lesson did we learn today? Today we learned not to set up James Saroka. We learned that we do not try to make him look crazy. We do not try to make him look like a criminal. And we most certainly do not try to make it look like he has a bomb. Because he doesn't. And no matter what you cover it up as, I will weasel my fucking way out of anything you try to shove onto me. Any situations you put me in, anything you put me through, I will find a way out of it. I will find a way through it. And now that you know, it's time to learn. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the beans. Our network and what we got going on is far more connected and more powerful than anything that you're doing. And you know it. I want to work for you because I prefer to set the example for the public. Because I'm someone that can do that. And when I'm not being disastrously and inappropriately provoked, I'm pretty good at it. So my recommendation is that the next time you want me to do something you want me to do, try positive affirmation, try encouraging behavior, because trying to set me up is just going to get you incarcerated, or worse. But thank you, and have a good day. Thanks for the bean. Yeah. So essentially, a lot of the people that document what I do unveil cover-ups. I don't work with them, but they hound me and they stalk me all day, every day, whether I want them to or not. So my recommendation is that you do not try to turn this on me, because it will not go well. Trust me. You will be giving prime content. Sounds sick, doesn't it? It is what it is. To some of the most nosy individuals you will ever meet. Thanks for the follows. Am I homeless? Yeah. Technically. The only way that I'm homeless is where I struggle to get an address. So essentially, a major organized criminal organization is trying to keep me from having my documentation because they want to control what I say, what I do, where I go, who I talk to, all that. And I already won this battle and this war with them. And now all I have to do is wait for them to secede, and they will. There's a few of us that win that battle. Not many, but a few. And so I just have to wait for them to give in and say, okay, we're going to trust you without having to control your decisions. We're going to trust you without having leverage. But I have to wait for them to get to that point. Right now, they're kind of at the point where they're starting to give up, but they haven't fully given in just yet. But we'll get there. Gang stalking is real. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not being gang stalked. I'm not. The people that are following me around and documenting stuff that I'm doing are people that are like conspiracy obsessed. They're people that, there's no other way to say it. They're conspiracy obsessed. So they think that I'm in the middle of all these different, conspiracy type situations. I guess at this point I can't say that I'm not without just looking shady as hell. But I'm not on purpose. If that counts for anything, I'm not in the middle of everybody's business on purpose. It's just kind of happened that way, you know? And when I say that, I'm telling the truth. Like, I'm a nosy guy. Admittedly, I'm pretty nosy. But, like, I was just curious. There's a difference between people that are, like, trying to take control and people that are curious. Me personally, I was curious. And I learned a lot about a lot of people. I learned a lot about a lot of subjects, like in reference to education. And now I know too much. So I'm at the precipice of working with these big bad organizations instead of working for them, because I'm not comfortable with anybody having control over my life. And in return for their willingness to let me work for them without having to let them control me, I am willing to remain silent about their personal, private dealings. So essentially, I'm legally pressuring. It's like high pressure sales. I am legally pressuring very powerful organizations into hiring me in return for my discretion. Yeah. And it's working. So, you know, I just got to keep doing it, I guess. And hopefully I just stay alive. You know, that's all it takes. One day at a time. Thanks for the beans. And I guess I've been doing this for so long and dealing with this situation for like a decade. And it's only now that it's finally starting to sink in that I'm actually like, I've literally single-handedly taken on some of those powerful organizations in the entire world. And I guess a crazy homeless guy is about the only cover I could possibly maintain without people asking a bajillion questions. So, you know, like I'm like, holy shit, I did that. Like, that was me. Like, how did I do that without breaking the law, let alone without dying? I don't know, but I did it. And now, like I said, I turned around and I said to our worst adversaries, I said, you know what? You're able to make people rich and famous. Can we work together? I know that we tried to kill each other for over a decade, but can I get a job? And they said yes. So, yeah. So now I'm famous, and now I got to get rich. That part, I don't know how that works. The famous part's easy for me. I understand how that works. The rich part, I don't know how I'm supposed to get rich without actually making my own money. Because I'm not like, I'm an explainer. So I can explain to you how I got famous, and that is something that, you know, I have a proper explanation for. But unless I get rich the right way, it's just fraud. So I have to find a way to get rich the right way, so that when people ask me questions and I answer them, I don't get in trouble. Don't think anyone wants to be controlled. Some people do. Some people do. I don't. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for the follow. I am not, for the last time, I am not on Grindr. No, I'm not. If there is somebody using my name and my photos on Grindr, or photos made up of me, like, you know, fake photos, I believe that, but I don't have a Grindr. I've never had a Grindr. Ever. I'm telling you the truth. I don't, listen, I've dealt with a lot of people that have secrets. I don't have many at all. You can ask the people I grew up with. You can ask the people I'm currently associated with. You can ask the people that I work for and work with. I am not a very secretive person in my own personal life. I'll keep your secrets to the grave, but I don't really have many of my own. Call me. No, I don't know that song. Listen, I got a buddy I got to call, but I had to come live first. Like I said, when I went into Ovation to grab my packages, they had people standing there pointing at me, making it look like I was holding a bomb. You know, like they were doing a setup type shit. And they're like, oh, no, you're paranoid. Guys, everybody's paranoid till it fucking happens to you. In 2021, I got set up. All right. And so ever since then, I've been very careful. So that shit that happened in Ovation, I made sure to immediately come onto a live stream. So that whenever because I know there's employees on that team that watch my videos. So, you know, I can count on them to get on the fucking security camera and see that shit. So I'm good. I had to make sure to come live before answering anybody personally. Just for my own safety. No, that sounds cool. But, all right, I got to pee real quick. And I got to make a couple of phone calls, especially after that debacle. So I'm not fucking doing this shit again. So, you know, I'm not paying for it either. Stop extorting me because we got the resources now and I'm willing to use them. Out of country, not in country. And we know where they live now too. So we're going to be knocking on their doors pretty soon. Wish me luck. I'll talk to y'all. Bye for now. I like it right where I'm at. Oh, wow. I just read a news report from Philly. Somebody just got shot in the head for trying to steal someone's car. That's crazy. There was a car thief tried stealing somebody's car. The person took the gun, shot them in the head with it. Freaking wild, man. Nice parts. Man, I'll tell you, it's like I have this weird mixture of pride and shame over like the things that I've accomplished out here. It's like I have shame in the fact that I've had to become somebody that I don't recognize or appreciate. And I have pride in the fact that I've survived. You know, I am not somebody that anyone expected to survive whatsoever out here. And I did. And I didn't just survive, I thrived. And I hate it. And that's the difference between me and these people that keep taking pride in it. Honestly, I hate this lifestyle. I absolutely hate it. With everything in me, I hate this lifestyle. And I am very excited to get out of this lifestyle and move on in my life. So, yeah. So I let my battery kind of go low today. I didn't charge it fully. I know I'm supposed to charge it fully, but I just wasn't in the mood to be around people. And it's weird. Like, it's not one of those days where I'm fighting with anybody. I'm not fighting with anybody. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just freaking cranky today. I don't know why. I'm just out of sorts. I'm just not in a good mood. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I had to walk like 5 miles. That might be why. I'll tell you something that is refreshing.